Hey guys, it is Chef Chris here today, and I have a special guest who I'm a big fan of her work, and I also ordered her book, so make sure you check out her book. We'll put all that in the description and everything. But I have with me Raquel.
Hi.
All right, so Raquel, she doesn't like to call herself a chef, but I think she's a chef. She's doing really good things. Why don't you let them know what you're up to right now?
So I am Raquel, also known as JaiFit8 on social media. I have a cooking page where I make healthy Mexican recipes, which is what we're gonna be showing you today. I lost over 75 pounds naturally and just incorporating the foods that I love, because you often hear you can't have Mexican food while on a weight loss or fitness journey, but you totally can. We can make it super macro friendly, and we're really excited to bring you one of my favorite easy recipes.
So today we're making chili lime chicken, okay? And this is a great dish. We got summer coming up, so you can put this on the grill. Today we're gonna pan sear it and finish in the oven. So Raquel, what do we have for our dish today?
All right, so we're starting off with our chicken thighs. We are not using chicken breast. I know when people are on a fitness journey, they often feel like they have to always cook with chicken breast, but especially if you're gonna throw it on the grill, you know, Chef Chris, it'll dry out very quickly. And we actually can lessen the amount of oil we use because there is fat in the thigh.
See, that's why I call her a chef. She knows her stuff. And I'm glad we're using chicken thigh, because I am not a fan of chicken breast, because it does dry out, you're right. What else we have?
We also have a very simple marinade. Like I said, you already have fat in your thigh, so you're not gonna need to add the avocado oil until we pan sear it. It's a very simple marinade. We are just using fresh chopped garlic, 1/4 of a white onion, some jalapenos to taste, 2 to 3 limes, and as much cilantro as you like, which I recommend at least half a bunch to give it tons of flavor.
You like cilantro?
Love it.
Okay.
And I think that's another thing, like when people start a fitness journey, is remember, use herbs, use aromatics, use your spices to really give flavor to your food.
All right, I like this. So we're gonna be eating good and losing weight.
That part.
All right, let's get right into it then.
So like I said, this dish is super flavorful, but also really easy. And the hardest part is going to be waiting for the chicken to marinate. So I'm gonna hand over Chef Chris the white onion. He's just gonna chop about 1/4. And then he's also going to chop the limes, because we're gonna use the juice of 2 to 3 limes. This is really to preference. That's another thing I love about this recipe, is you can add as much or as little as you like. And then he's also going to remove the stems from your jalapenos. If you want it spicier, go ahead and use a serrano pepper. If you want it a little more mild, you can actually remove the vein from the jalapenos so that you just have a mild kick. But if you're sticking to one jalapeno, it won't be very spicy.
How do you like yours? You like yours spicy or?
I like mine with 2 jalapenos, like not too spicy, but also just, you know, enough kick to give it more flavor.
Got it.
And so while Chef Chris is chopping those things up, I am gonna go ahead and add about half a bunch of cilantro to the blender. Like I said, you can use as much as little as you like, but I find that half a bunch really works. And then I love garlic. We've got about how many garlic minced up here?
That minced up, that's probably about 25 pieces of garlic. So
I would personally put this whole thing if it were up to me.
Me too.
However, you know, you can stick to a good 4 to 5. So I'm just gonna do a little 1/4 right there into the blender.
All right,
then,
so I got everything right here for you.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm under some pressure with you right now. I'm like, let me hurry up, let me hurry.
No, you're good. So we've got our jalapenos going into the blender. Our 1/4 of a white onion. Ooh, a little piece of cilantro. And then Chef Chris, would you like to squeeze the limes in?
I will, yes. All right, so I'll squeeze the limes in there. And if you have one of the hand juicers at home, I definitely recommend that, but I need a workout, so I'm gonna go ahead and work out these forearm muscles. Now, what type of limon person are you? Like on one taco, how many limes are you using? Because I know some people that use a whole lime, a little bit. Like, where are you on that scale?
I feel like I'm always very moderate with everything, like everything in moderation. So I'm probably using like 1/4 of a lime.
Okay. All right.
Especially with this recipe, I probably don't need to add any more lime. But it actually, it also varies. Like what kind of taco are we talking about? Because if I'm doing a taco de lengua, I need a lot of lime.
Something like that, okay, all right.
And then we're just gonna finish this off with a little bit of sea salt. You can really use anything that your heart desires, but like I said, we've got a ton of aromatics in here to the point where just a little sea salt to give it that salt. Or if you happen to have, high cholesterol or something that prohibits you from having a lot of sodium, you can use one of those no salt or low sodium spice blends, whatever just works for your fitness goals.
When it comes to no salt too, I like, I guess a substitute for me is like a lot of acid. That kind of will balance that out for people that have a no salt diet. But that's good that you gave them alternatives too, so that's nice. So this thing ready to go?
Yep, we're just gonna add a little bit of salt and then toss it in the blender.
Okay, perfect.
So we're gonna go ahead and add a pinch of salt. And then what I like to do, and I recommend, is I'm gonna personally pulse this, but you can also just blend it to where it's very, very smooth. It's just a preference thing. Alrighty, so just some tips. If you have a blender like this, you might need to add a little bit of water, or if you don't like a lot of lime, because the liquid is really gonna be that lime juice that's gonna help blend it. And that's if you want a more thinner of a marinade. Like I said, for me, I like to pulse because I like these chunks. I think that it just makes the chicken look beautiful. This is kind of this is the consistency I personally like, but to each their own. I have sometimes forgotten about the blender and it's been very smooth. Still tastes the same, still tastes delicious. Just like I said, preference. Alrighty, so now that we have our marinade, we're gonna toss it on top of the chicken, and Chef Chris is gonna explain why you wanna marinate your chicken whole versus chopped.
First, the marinade was really easy to make. I was surprised. But marinate the chicken whole just because it's easier to cook. Once you start cutting things in pieces, that's more space in the pan, that increases the cooking time. So yeah, just keep the chicken whole and then slice it after too. Most importantly too, we'll go over this later, rest the chicken before you slice it. That way it retains all that juice and it stays juicy. And I gotta say, this is a beautiful looking marinade.
And we wanna get it all here. Remember, you don't need oil, especially when cooking with chicken thigh, because it's going to render in its own fat.
We are going to find out where Raquel is a chef at. I know she's hiding her restaurant somewhere because this looks amazing.
Fun fact, I met Chef Chris during the pandemic, and he was the quarantine chef, and he actually used to make my meal preps when I was teaching full time.
Oh, I was doing the healthy meal preps, yeah?
Yeah, he was making healthy meal preps for me. And he was also meal prepping for my family. He's a family friend. And he would also make this really delicious banana pudding, which is not macro friendly. And it's not good for a fitness journey, but it's the best thing for your soul.
We'll figure out how to do a fitness version of that. You'll have to put that in your book too, your next one.
I don't know if there are some recipes that I don't like to recreate. Like I don't like to recreate tamales. I just think there are recipes that are just, close to family, and they represent so much more. They're so much more than food that sometimes I don't like to touch recipes.
I understand that, yeah.
We've got our chicken. We're gonna let it marinate a minimum of 1 hour, 30 minutes if you're really pressed for time. But I recommend you keep this in your fridge for at least overnight. I promise everything's just gonna soak up. It's like
I like overnight marinades.
Yeah, it's one of those things, it's one of those things where the longer you let it sit, the better it tastes.
Okay, so we'll go 1 hour on this one today though, right?
Yeah, just 1 hour.
We'll go 1 hour, okay. So I took the chicken, it's been about an hour, and that was the longest hour because can't wait to try this. So I'm going to pass this on to Raquel, and you're gonna sear it, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, nice.
Thank you. So we have our marinated chicken, put it right here. When searing chicken or using high temperatures just in general, you want to make sure that you are using an oil with a high smoke point. I love avocado oil. It also happens to be super healthy. So you get a lot of bang for your buck when using avocado oil. We're just gonna use 1 tablespoon. You don't need a ton, and I'm gonna show you a little trick. So just a little bit right there. That was probably a little bit more than 1 tablespoon, but for recipe purposes, please only use 1 tablespoon. And then you're going to take a napkin, and you can actually spread it around because a lot of people think, oh, well, how is that 1 tablespoon gonna spread? And you can actually just spread it. And if you don't want to use this method, you can go ahead and buy those oil sprayers. They sell them everywhere now. And I highly recommend you getting the avocado oil, like I said, just because it has a super high smoke point, neutral flavors, and you are able to cook with a healthy oil. So now we're gonna throw it into the pan. Alrighty, so we're gonna let these sear for 3 minutes on each side. So you're gonna just leave it here for 3 minutes, do not touch it, and then we're gonna flip and do the same thing on the other side. So I actually left these for 4 minutes so they could get a little bit more color, but this is really a preference. If you like it well done, you could even leave it for 5 minutes on each side, so let's go ahead and flip it. This is what it looks like after 4 minutes of searing. Oh, look at that beautiful color. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful.
Wow, that looks really good. That is chef approved right there.
Thank you. This one might need to cook a little bit longer, but we are looking for this, and no, it is not burnt. That is juicy goodness.
I must say, this chicken is beautiful. I see the marinade, it's perfectly cooked. It has a really good sear. And also too, you know what I like that you did? You gave it like a really high heat sear, almost replicating like a charred grill flavor, because we talked about grilling. So great job on that. As a chef, I gotta say, this is a 10 out of 10 sear. Really, really good. So I'm gonna take some out of the pan. This is one for me, one for you. And then I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up for us.
Alrighty, and you can use this chicken in a variety of ways. You can use it in like a little chicken bowl with rice and beans, but we're gonna keep it super simple because like I said, we wanted it to give you a very simple marinade, so we're gonna round it out as a very simple dish. We are using some 25-calorie tortillas. We are gonna make some low-calorie tacos. Something that a lot of people like to say is you can't have tacos or you can't have tortillas on your weight loss journey, but you most definitely can. We are using La Banderita today, but Guerrero and Mission also make a 25-calorie tortilla. There's also no-carb tortillas. Really, there are so many different options, tortillas de nopales. So just use what you prefer and fits in your macros.
Be careful because you can't say the tortilla, because I can have 12 tacos while I still lose weight.
Depends, does it fit your macros?
Okay, all right. All right, so you got the tortillas, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and. Okay, so as far as the tacos, I know they're good to go. We could put onion, cilantro on top, or?
Yes, so we can keep it as simple as just the chicken because like I said, it has such a flavorful marinade. But like me, I love onions and cilantro, so we're just gonna add a little bit of garnish, also to give it a, you know, a little more flavor.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little.
I feel like raw onion and cooked onion have different flavors, so it's just nice to give it a couple different flavor profiles.
What do you prefer? Obviously the raw onion on top, right?
Yes, but I'm an onion girl, I'm a garlic girl, I'm a cilantro girl. So.
All right, well cheers. All right, chile and lime tacos.
Let's go, cheers. Buen provecho.
That marinade was amazing. Can you use that marinade on anything?
I feel like it tastes best on chicken, but I also like it on beef. It's like a healthy chimichurri in my opinion.
Wow, okay. That's really, really good. I'm obviously gonna eat more of these when we're done. No one eat on camera. I wanna thank you, that was really amazing. Man, we gotta get you on some cooking shows, man. You got some true talent. I mean, I've tasted a lot of competitors' food before. This is amazing.
Thank you.
And then also too, let everybody know your book, your social medias.
So you can go ahead and follow me on TikTok and or Instagram at JaiFit8. Or you can purchase my cookbook on Amazon or Barnes & Nobles. It is Light and Easy Mexican Cooking by JaiFit8.
Drop a comment on what you thought about today's recipe. Also too, let us know in the comments if you want us to have another chef on to cook with, or if you really enjoyed us together, let us know in the comments what do you want to see us make next. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you guys.
Thank you.